I mean, I don't know how you would ask
embarrassing.
that.
Like, oh my God.
How you would ask that question. Like, so Joe, how are those plugs? It would be me.
It would be you. You would sabotage me.
Hey everyone.
Hi guys.
Welcome back to another episode of 30 Kinda Flirty. I'm Brittany.
I'm Joey.
And we're happy you're here.
Oh.
I am. I think that's what I always say. It's my catch line now.
Yeah. What's your catch line?
We're happy that you're here.
What's up, Britt? What's new?
Oh, Ellie Goulding.
Ellie.
My queen. Goulding? I called her.
Okay, is she your queen if you don't know her name?
Ellie Goulding.
How
embarrassing.
What about her?
She has an album coming out, I think. Ooh. Rumors of. I'm very excited for it. EG5. I don't know what it's called.
So her fifth album.
Yep.
What was her last one?
It's been a rough year.
Oh, it's been a rough year. Okay,
yeah,
that's not good.
Brightest Blue was her last one. Last June.
I'm not her biggest fan. I don't know. Couldn't tell you.
I mean, honestly. But she put that out. It was more heartfelt, more
emotional.
A
lot of ballads.
It was like all the stuff that she had always wanted to sing about, but knew it wouldn't kind of like make it anywhere. So she didn't bother.
Well, so may as well do it during a pandemic.
Yeah. So put that out. There was a couple good songs on it that I really did like, but the album as a whole wasn't like Halcyon or Delirium. So this new one, apparently, the word on the street is alien dance vibes.
Alien dance
from
vibes.
outer space. So I think she's going back to like her
E.T. on the dance floor.
I'm hoping Delirium.
Yeah, that's probably my favorite album by her. It's her most like mainstream EDM radio friendly kind of pop, and I like that stuff.
I'm hoping. She said that get ready to dance.
Oh,
so
I'm jealous.
I'm excited because it's been a while. I remember I saw her back in 2016, I think it was, on her Delirium tour. And she had made a comment at the end of the concert or the show that was like, oh, you know, like I have, you know, taking time off, but I'll be back. She took 5 years off.
That's a long time.
So she lost me. She was no longer my queen about a year ago, and I was in the market for a new one. You were
piloting for a few.
We
had Selena Gomez for a bit.
Piloting, Shakira
Taylor
for a while
Swift.
there. I was Latina.
Latina.
like I wasn't personally, but I was into like the Latina scene. I was desperately trying to find a new queen, but then my queen came through with her Alien Dance album. So.
I'm jealous because I've been saying for a while now, if anyone doesn't know, Ariana Grande is my favorite of all time. I loved everything that she's released, like Positions, Thank You Next, Sweetener. I love it all. But those were the records that she started making with more of her own input now that she kind of made a name for herself. So they're more R&B, they're more vibey, mid-tempo, trap sound, which I love. But I really, really want her to go back to that pure pop dance music. I need like a Into You 2.0, another Break Free.
Yep.
Now, and there were rumors I saw floating on Instagram, which means nothing, but AG7, because that's her 7th studio album. They're trying to say that, you know, the first single is going to be a pure pop sound. It's going to be upbeat. And lately there's been a lot of talk about her like getting work done on her face.
That she has work done?
Yeah, like her nose. And I'm just like, who cares if she did or she didn't? And she doesn't have to friggin' tell us.
No, but I don't think it just doesn't look like she has.
No, I don't think so either.
You love a natural queen. Like,
She's so
I mean,
pretty.
I don't care if you get all the plastic surgery in the world, but I always think like when you have it like look natural and you can't tell, oof, who's your doc?
Yeah. What? Oh, who's your doc?
Who's your... like, I want to know.
Doctor?
Give me the card.
Dr. Love.
Oh. Dr. Jones.
Dr. Jones.
Aqua? Where's all my 90s?
For all you 90s babies out there.
90s babies out there.
So what are we talking about today?
Well, that was a good segue. I was actually pretty impressed. Plastic
Not
surgery.
Not just a pretty face.
Cosmetic surgery. Not after this. Not after this episode. Who knows? We'll get some improvements in the...
Honey, I don't need no improvements. Have you seen me? No, I'm kidding. Cosmetic surgery.
I want to do an episode on cosmetic surgery.
Here's the thing, okay, guys? Brittany is taking the lead on this one.
I thought you were going to say Britt's no surgeon.
Well, she ain't no surgeon either. I didn't do a whole lot of research.
I did.
I have some opinions that I can filter through, but Brittany's...
I want all of it. Fill me up.
Okay.
Buttercup.
Don't say fill me up to just anybody.
You know what I mean? With
'Cause-
fillers. With fillers.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess I should
Yeah.
specify.
So how are we going to start this? What do you got?
Okay, I want to know,
Okay.
for all our flirties listening, I want you to email me
Nope.
after this episode goes live. Like, I want to know.
And what's the email, Britt? You got to plug it.
It's 30 kind of flirty podcast at gmail.com. I want to know your age group ish. You don't have to give me your age, personal information, but I want to know, would you get plastic surgery?
Mm-hmm.
Would you get cosmetic surgery? Because I would.
So, okay. So I guess that's the first question is, why do people do it?
Okay.
Why do people
So I'm going to bring
go
you to
under
my
the
roots.
knife?
So as
The
you
what?
guys know, my roots. I'm going to give you
Oh,
to
your
a point.
roots. Okay. No. I don't know what the fuck you
I
said.
love my 90 Day Fiance, as I mentioned in the last episode, but I do love it so much. And one of the
TLC sponsor
spin-offs
us.
was Darcy versus Stacy, or it starts Darcy and Stacy. I don't even know the name of the show, but I love Darcy, as you know. I mentioned that in the last episode as well.
Okay.
And she is on the next episode. I haven't seen it yet. They go under the knife. They go to Turkey and they get all this work done. And it got me thinking, would I do it? And the answer is yes.
Mm-hmm.
Why
are they doing it?
I think it makes them feel good. I know they're a
Yeah.
huge believer in like new me,
Yeah.
like she's kind of out with the old and with the new. She actually looked at Joeigh, who's the toxic guy that we talked about in the last episode. And she's like, when I come back, I'm going to be snatched. You're not even going to know who I am. I'm going to be a whole new Darcy and you better watch out. Like, she's so sassy. And I think it's for their own mental health. Now, keep in mind, surgery is a serious thing. Obviously, I'm not a doctor. Like, spoiler
we're not
alert.
medical
We're not medical.
professionals.
We're just two people who are interested in the cosmetic world. And I find it fascinating. And we do not judge. We could care less. Whatever makes you happy, do it. But I do know that it can be quite addicting. So I don't want to sit here and speak for Darcy and be like, oh, make her feel better. Because I don't know, right? There
Yeah.
could be a million different reasons. Let's bring it back to Heidi Montag, 2010. I was hoping you'd do another like song and dance. Oh, he's trying, but it's not landing.
No.
But Heidi Montag, 2010.
Okay.
Remember it.
Now this
Think
is
about
okay.
it.
So this is funny because when The Hills was on,
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't watching it. Like I didn't even know it existed. Okay.
Cosmetic surgery or The Hills?
I knew cosmetic surgery existed. The Hills. I didn't know The Hills existed.
Yeah,
So I know who Heidi Montag was. Then all of a sudden, 2010,
Here it comes. He's
she
gonna
had
make a comment about music.
a song come out
Told ya.
called Body Language. And boy, is that a bop.
Oh.
Listen, if you haven't heard that song yet, pause this episode, go search Heidi Montag Body Language, give it a play, bop around, dance in your room, shake your tatas, and then come back.
But
Okay?
make sure you actually do that after this because they're not going to come back.
No, they'll come back.
No one ever comes back.
They'll come back. They're not going to ghost.
Okay.
Oh,
episode
taking it back
one
to episode one.
reference. Episode 1.
Yeah.
We've only had.
Okay.
Okay. Anyways, Heidi Montag.
So yes, okay. So I never knew that The Hills existed.
Mm-hmm.
The song came out, and then I saw that. I remember seeing that magazine at like the pharmacy drugstore where she had like the 10 surgeries in a day, and she
Yeah.
looked like a complete Barbie doll.
Yes.
And then that's all I knew about her though. And then I ended up getting into The Hills, and
He's Team Lauren Conrad. I'm always Team KCAV.
and I saw her for the first time.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. I didn't even know that was her at
Yeah, 'cause
first
she was so
until
different.
I was watching the show, and then I just kind of put two and two together, being
Yeah.
like, "Wow, this girl is that same girl, completely
That
different."
would blow your mind. That's how I felt when I found out that Dan Levy did the after show on The Hills.
Oh yeah.
I was like, what?
Yeah.
That's Dan?
Yeah.
Same thing.
Now, the thing with Heidi, of course, though, is that her plastic surgery more so represents the toxic media life.
Oh, for
right?
sure.
It wasn't healthy what she was doing.
No, like just like being in Los Angeles in
And
general. And
didn't they talk about that on The Hills about her surgery?
I think so.
And
Yeah.
trying to get her to rethink things or not worry about it.
Yeah, yeah, like it is so, and that's why I made that comment earlier about mental health and like the addiction or the like all of that stuff,
Yeah.
that heavy stuff behind plastic surgery. Because again, I mean, I've never had any work done. I think you haven't had any work done, right?
No, I'm just naturally this fit.
Right, like we haven't
No,
had it.
I haven't
That's-
had any work done.
We don't, so it's hard for us to speak on that side of it. This is just what we want to do or what we would want to do. But yeah, just to while we have on the topic of Heidi Montag 2010.
Yes.
So she had 10, like Joey said, 10 surgeries in one day. So she had her boobies done. She had her a nose
Now,
job.
okay. I remember hearing for her boobs, she wanted to get them like size H or double H for Heidi. I don't know if that's true or not.
I don't know. I don't know either, but it wouldn't surprise me because she was.
That kind of girl that would do it.
Well, if you look at some of the photos, I mean.
Big tatas.
She is curvy in that area. So she had those done. She had a nose job. She had fat injections in her face, an eyebrow lift, a chin reduction, all kind of during the same day. So
Which
it was like
can't be healthy.
No.
That must have been risky. That must have been
It had to have been because it was all over the media.
life-threatening, kind of.
So my opinion on that is I don't have one because I feel like to each their own. You got to do what makes you happy. However, for me personally, I think I would do one surgery and then see what I look like so I can manipulate the next surgery to make me look even better.
Yeah.
I'd be nervous going under the knife for like 10 surgeries and like coming out looking like a completely different person.
Just kind of thinking about Heidi Montag and maybe some of the reason why she did it. Do you think, and I don't know if there is or isn't already, there probably isn't, but should there be some type of psychological, psychiatric assessment or something before someone gets these surgeries just to make sure that they're doing it for the right reasons?
I don't think there is.
Like when you look at someone like Heidi Montag, who might have been doing it, and we're only guessing here, we don't know, but maybe she was doing it for the wrong reasons because she's in the media, because media is tearing her apart. She thinks she has to fit a certain mold, look the greatest at all times, look the best.
Oh, for sure.
And maybe, and yes, to each their own, whatever makes them happy, but maybe that's not what's actually making her happy, and actually, going to therapy, talking to someone about those insecurities would instead make her happy. So it's interesting that maybe that type of assessment or something would be helpful.
Yeah, I don't think there is any criteria like that to meet when you go in for cosmetic surgery. I think it's up to the client and their discretion. I think it's where it's like what is it? Like you opt in for it. It's an elective kind of thing.
Elective.
So I feel like it's like if you want to do it, you can. Now, to that point, actually, probably to my next little point here. Yeah. I had Googled plastic surgery in your 30s because I wanted to know, is that too young? And the first thing that came up in the search was, are you too old at 30? And I was like, Jesus, we're so far removed from that.
Here's the thing. With the emergence of social media, right?
Oh, for sure.
Instagram, Snapchat, pictures, taking pictures, selfies,
filters,
seeing more and more pictures of ourselves.
Yep.
There has been a big increase in cosmetic surgery, and it wouldn't surprise me if some of that is at the younger age groups.
Oh, yeah.
Because a lot of those insecurities, of course, comes when you're in high school, when you're in your early 20s. I couldn't imagine being in high school and dealing with social media.
No, and that's actually probably a really good point for a future episode.
That makes sense when you Googled that had come up, like, is 30 too old now? Because maybe a larger demographic is people in their 20s.
And this article was about a girl who was 32 and wanted to get a facelift.
Yeah.
And like you should have seen my face when I was reading it because they explain like what they do and I'm like wincing at the computer screen.
Yeah. Did you ever watch Nip Tuck?
No.
Don't. If you ever think of getting if you're ever thinking of getting plastic surgery, cosmetic surgery of any kind, don't watch that show because it's so graphic. And
I don't like any kind of stuff like that. However, when I was researching it kind of just a little bit, like, is there such thing as like too old for plastic surgery? And actually the American Society of Plastic Surgeons did a study that no, whether you're 65 years old or you're 19, no matter when you get plastic surgery, there is no risk. There is no best time to do it. I mean, obviously, maybe you'll heal a little bit better as you're younger, but generally speaking, there are no health risks.
No matter what age you are?
There's a caveat there. Yeah, whether you're 65 or 18. What the caveat is obviously underlying issues.
When you're older.
Right. Yeah. So if you're, or you're younger, like you have asthma or something.
But I mean, we do know that the older you are, the more risk with surgery in general.
Same with if you're a smoker.
I think
which
that's
we're both,
just an assumption.
We're not smokers, but if you're a smoker, that would come into play. Like all of that kind of stuff. But that is like right across the board. That's whether you're 18 or whether you're 65. So I thought that was really interesting because I had thought, no, like you want to get plastic surgery when you're younger because you know.
But most people that get it, when you think of celebrities, are older people like Joan Rivers.
Yeah.
Right? They're older, and then so they start getting this work done to make them look younger.
Which, hey, I'm all for. Like, I don't know. I would love to do another episode eventually on like skincare and stuff, because I wonder if that actually works. I mean, I was gonna say I love to look young, and I feel young. Obviously, we're in our 30s, and I don't know if I would quote unquote go under the knife. I'm like all about like the fillers,
Botox,
Juvederm. I don't have any right now. I've never done it. I've been looking into it because it does interest me. I do find that, I guess, like very basic cosmetic stuff.
And the thing
very
is,
interesting.
when it comes to Botox too, right? Obviously, yeah, you get it done for if you're you get wrinkles, you get Botox done, and maybe people judge people for it, which I don't agree with. But like, there's also health reasons to get that stuff done. People will get Botox done if they suffer from migraines, and it helps them with migraines.
Yes.
Right.
Yeah, you don't know.
Or I know someone who would get a Botox shot every so often because they had issues with excessively sweating, where they would be dehydrated a lot. So they would get a Botox shot, and they would still sweat because you have to sweat, but it would just lessen
a little
it.
lesson on not to judge, because you don't know.
So there's a variety of reasons that people get it done, whether it's for the way you look or wanting to look younger. It doesn't matter.
No, and I mean, Botox and Juvederm and all that. And Juvederm's that lip filler. Botox, I believe, can go into either. Yeah, you reduce wrinkles.
Yeah,
and make you look overall tighter.
In a couple of years from now, if I'm noticing some wrinkles and I want to buff those out a bit,
I know.
I do it.
I know. I mean, whatever you feel like you need to do,
and listen,
like, it's not it's temporary too.
Yeah, exactly. And also too, obviously, like surgery, needles, injecting yourself with something, it's a serious decision to make. But when it comes to judging someone for doing it for vanity reasons, okay, well, how different is that than getting your hair dyed? We both have blonde in our hair right now.
Yes.
Or putting makeup on, painting your nails.
Yes.
Right?
LASIK. I'm getting LASIK. I want LASIK for sure.
I do too. And like, it's all about, you want to make yourself
whatever
look
makes
good.
You feel
and it
happy.
makes yourself feel good. And there's nothing wrong with wanting to feel good from the outside as well as the inside.
Right? He said that sarcastically, because people do judge you.
Yes, I get judged.
Yeah, so do I. People are like, oh, why would you want that? Oh, why can't you just be happy? And like, sometimes I do it to like get, my mom too. She'll be sitting next to me in the car, and I'll be like looking at my face in the mirror and like giving like the, Luther Crank from Christmas with the Cranks, like look, where I'm like pulling my skin and stuff. And my mom was like, why can't you just be happy with the way you look? And it's just
but here's the thing.
Yeah.
I am happy with the way I look.
Yes.
But there's just certain things that maybe I want to change, but it doesn't mean I'm not happy with how I look.
They're my insecurities. You can't tell me that I don't feel insecure about certain things.
We all have insecurities for a variety of reasons.
Yeah, and I just feel like that's totally something I would do. Now, like I said to you earlier, I don't know if I would necessarily go quote unquote under the knife, but that's honestly mainly because I'm afraid of the knife.
Yeah, me too.
But I would get dental surgery.
Yeah.
I'd get all these teeth, like all.
Oh my God,
That's what Darcy was doing in Turkey. They were doing
okay, back to Darcy.
No, but they were doing like a full meal deal. They're getting their face like tightened. They're getting all their teeth like shaved down and like redone. Like, hey, if you got it, flaunt it. And I'm all about it. So it was just really interesting for me to talk about this because I'm in my 30s now and I'm going to start running
These are the things that we think about.
Never thought about it in my 20s.
No, of course not.
Did you?
No.
Like, it wasn't on my radar.
No.
Like, even watching The Hills and stuff and like seeing it in like the magazines and stuff, I would have never, ever. I honestly thought those were like for the rich.
And here's the thing too. It also felt like something that was so far removed from us. Only celebrities did it. Only the rich did it.
Yes.
But I think it's becoming more affordable. And also, it's becoming safer, like as technology advances.
And I think as we get older, the age groups, this is what they do.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we don't really see that because I didn't have older friends when I was younger.
Yeah.
Now I have people who are doing it.
Yeah.
So, I'm all about it. I think, like, it does freak me out. I know how we talked about, like, where they can, like, move your hairline and stuff.
Yeah.
That stuff does freak me out. And I feel like that's not something I would probably be super interested in. However, if I started hanging out with a bunch of people that all got it done, right? Like the housewives.
Yeah.
You'd be doing it because you'd be running in those circles.
They're always out and about getting stuff done. Botox, fillers.
I would love to be a desperate housewife. Or what are they called?
Laser, desperate housewife. A real housewife.
I would love to be a real housewife.
Yes.
Oh, that's so ironic that they're called Real Housewives when really.
So, and for me, like, I don't want a bald, like, at all. I always want to have hair.
Yeah.
So, I mean, getting hair plugs put in or anything like that, like, yeah, I would do it.
Now, here's my next question, though. That's interesting. You would do it.
Yeah.
But would you tell people that you're doing it? Let's bring it back to Ariana Grande, where people are like, oh, she's getting work done. She shouldn't have to say anything.
No, I mean...
Would you say something, or would you kind of keep it to yourself, or
I'd
do you not care at all?
I would probably keep it to myself.
If you were asked, would you, like in a group setting? I mean, I don't know how you would ask that
question. Like, oh my God.
How you would ask that question. Like, so Joe, how are those plugs? It would be me.
It would be you. You would sabotage me.
I'd be like, so everybody would be like quiet at the table. I'd be like, Joe got plugs yesterday.
What? Oh, I don't know. See, now when I think about, I don't know if I would. I kind of just want people to think this is the true me.
I think if it was me and some people had asked, I agree with you. I think it would just depend on who's asking, what the setting is. If it's like somebody who's balding and they're like, hey, like, do you have plugs? I'd be like, yes, here's my doctor. Like,
yes.
you know,
help a brother out.
Use Joe 15 for 15% off your next plug.
Discount code.
Like, I think it depends on the situation, but I don't think there's anything to be ashamed of.
Yeah.
But you would want to perceive you have luscious locks.
I mean, it's like people that self-tan, right? I mean, there's probably a lot of people that don't broadcast that they self-tan. They want people to think, oh, this is my natural glow.
Yeah.
Right?
Even though we know it's not.
Even though we know it's not. We see the mess.
I mean, realistically, if they're with you all the time and they're in your circle.
Oh, yeah.
And you're like balding and then you come to dinner.
You have a full...
like, no one has seen you for like weeks and you come out looking like bushy.
Bob Ross coming through.
I mean, they're probably
gonna know.
They're gonna know. But yeah, nobody would ever ask that. So I don't know. Like I feel like same with like if you have like if you like little like mosquito bite boobs.
all of a sudden
you're just like
bazookas.
Like either she's stuffing or right, like you would know. That's the thing, that it changes the whole. And it's funny, like I've seen a couple like, but
and that's the thing with the, sorry to interrupt you, but like the Real Housewives, whenever one of them gets their boobs done, they're all loving it. They're like, oh my God, it looks so great, and they'll just like touch them and like, feel them and like, grope them.
Who's your
doctor? Yes, they love it.
Yeah, and I feel like to that, on that side of things, like there's nothing to be ashamed of. Back to my little 90-day fiance, one of the guys on there, David, who we love, he got plugs and he broadcasted it to the world. Nothing to be ashamed of. It's just whatever you feel good about. But I was going to say, before Joey had brought his, talked about touching boobs, is Darcy, there's been photos like floating around on the internet of her since her surgery.
Yeah.
And like, she looks different. Yeah. So I feel like, if you were going to have major surgery, people would know.
And here's the thing, too, when we think about shame and judgments, we grow up, us in our 30s, we grew up in the age, like we were teens in the early 2000s, like 2004, 5, 6.
Yep.
When the paparazzi,
Britney
TMZ,
Spears.
Britney Spears, Lindsay Lohan, Paris Hilton, Hilary Duff, all those girls ripped apart. And then if anyone looked like they had work done, media would go crazy pointing things out, shaming them for possibly getting work done, but then also shaming them for looking like shit.
Yeah,
all of us at our age now, that impacts us as well. So we kind of carry that shame where we think, well, anyone that gets that kind of surgery, that's wrong. Why would you do that? That's crazy. That's we kind of have that built into our thought process where I think anyone growing up now, because it's becoming more common, maybe more talked about, younger age groups getting it done, it's more accepting. And
I was going to say Britney Spears' song, You Want a Piece of Me, or Piece of Me, I think it was called, Piece of Me, where she's just like, what is it? Mrs. Lifestyles of the Rich and Famous, extra this just in, like, she's going through like, that was, I think, you would know better than I would, but that came out like during that peak of just media attention all over her.
Piece of Me came out after like her breakdown and stuff.
Yeah.
It was like, I think that was on the album that was like her quote unquote comeback, but she was still, she's still today going through it.
Yeah. And that's due to the media. And I feel like I want to say us little people, but the people who aren't in the media, we still have pressures.
Yep.
I mean, like,
the main,
you do you, boo.
As long as the main reason that you're doing it is you. Right?
Yes.
Not having
the pressures of
a boyfriend or girlfriend
spouse,
or non-binary lover, boyfriend, whatever, as long as they're not coercing you into doing it. I always think of that, remember the band TLC?
Yeah.
From the 90s? They had a
Scrubs.
song. Yes, that was one of their songs.
No scrub. I don't want to be no scrub.
But they had one song. I can't remember the song.
Yeah.
But in the video, it showed a girl going through consultations to get her boobs done, and it turned out it's because her boyfriend was making her do it.
Yeah.
It's like, no.
No, you have to want it.
Yes,
right?
for you.
You have to want it for you because as we all know, relationships come and go. But those boobies are on you forever.
They are on you forever.
And they might pay for the boobies now, but who's going to have to pay to get them lifted up or what do you call that? Like realigned?
Realigned? Like a
An
tire?
alignment.
Like tires?
An alignment.
Going in for your checkup?
Who's going to have to pay for all the maintenance?
Every 10,000 kilometers, got to get her tuned up.
Yeah, so who's going to have to pay for all that extra stuff? And keep that in mind, But I would say do it. I want to know.
Do it.
If you're listening to this and you have had...
Well, okay.
No, I want to know if you feel comfortable, obviously. But like, who's your doctor?
I mean, I had a friend. I don't think she ever got it done. We're not friends anymore. But she went through a consultation to possibly get her breasts enlarged. Is that the right way of saying it?
Augmentation?
Augmented, yeah. And she was, nervous to really tell people. She told me, and I was like, girl, if that's what you want to do, if it makes you happy.
Yes.
And she was single. Like, there was no guys on her radar she was doing for. It was just for her.
Yes.
Right?
And yeah, I think do whatever makes you happy. And we're talking about surgeries to like improve, I guess, your overall. But if that also meant like a breast reduction or getting something reduced or doing like something to make it better to breathe or whatever, something to make your life easier, then that's the same thing. You do whatever makes you happy and you don't have to answer to anybody. Here I am like, oh, email me and tell me. Like, no, you don't have to tell anybody. I'm just genuinely... It's those conversations that nobody wants to have. Nobody wants to have the conversation about getting surgery done because it's not in our, it's not in our world. If you're a celebrity, it's probably everywhere. But in everyday life, no one really talks about it. And I want to know.
That's true. Yeah.
Right? So I just thought this was like a fun little thing to do because it's all around us.
Yeah.
But it's something that I don't know anyone who's had anything done. I'm totally curious. And I just think in your 30s, these conversations are going to continue to come up.
Yeah.
So
100%.
That's that. That's all she wrote.
That was quick and easy.
I was going to say quick and dirty.
Quick and dirty. Maybe that's it.
Well, I think it's definitely quick and dirty.
Yeah, but one who was dirty is also easy, right?
Oh, Jojo.
Yeah, guys. So
So if you have any feedback on this episode or anything that you want to add, feel free, like I said, to email us at 30kindoflirtypodcast@gmail.com. Find us on Instagram, once again, at 30kindoflirty podcast. And let's talk about it.
Oh, and also, if you are listening to us on Spotify, give us a follow. If you're listening to us on Apple Podcasts, give us that 5-star rating and a good little positive review if you're so inclined. And also note that we are available on all other platforms as well.
Yeah, and this was fun. I actually really enjoyed this episode because it was fun.
Yeah, it was good.
Have a good night.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.